May old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind. Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne.
It finally got here,
How
didn't
deep
it?
can you go?
Right.
Oh, Lordy.
Happy
Hey,
New
Happy
Year.
New Year, everybody.
I've got to get used to doing this. 2023.
2023,
You know,
and a big old truck just went
Right.
by.
Writing a check, getting that 23 on there is,
Have you
Takes-
put 22 down once or twice yet?
yeah,
Yeah?
torn up a check or two.
Torn up a check or two. Well,
It's a good year, and
is.
started out with, we've had pretty decent weather.
when during the
Christmas
the
like to
holiday
took us
season,
out.
we like to froze.
I know, it's amazing.
I'm scared to even look at the power bill.
Yeah, it'll be up there.
It'll
this
be
time.
horrible. But guess what? We made it.
We made it.
Made
We
it
say
through.
I'm real proud of the light tube people that kept us all alive and heated.
Well, you think about somebody and you think about, boy, it's sort of like an air conditioning guy. The air conditioning guy comes to your house when the air conditioner's broken,
Right.
and he's in the attic and under the house where it's burning up, and then when the air conditioner comes back on, he has to leave.
Right.
And the
Doesn't
power
get a chance
guy,
to get warm.
you see pictures of these guys up on these poles in these
Oh,
blizzards
my.
and ice
my.
frozen, and it's 15 below zero.
Talk about your first responders.
And this
That's-
guy,
that's amazing.
these guys and gals are out of the house, and they're up on
They're-
a pole
that's
making
right.
sure that we have heat. And bless you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for the service you provide us.
So did you make a bunch of
A bunch of.
resolutions? I couldn't
But
think of what
I did. Usually, my resolution is to give up Brussels sprouts,
Oh my.
which is a very simple thing to do. But I actually gave myself some projects
Good.
this year, and one was to be positive.
Positive is important.
Another one was to don't leave a dream. Act on it.
Act on it.
on your dreams. I want to write more.
That's
I want
those
to
are good resolutions.
Be more physical.
Yeah, I'm working on that myself.
Be more physical, and
I'm trying to work
be
on being
positive.
mental.
Just be positive. Just be positive.
More people need to be positive. Sometimes when someone is having a bad day and you take that on, it's best to let that go because, be positive and don't get involved in the negativity of life.
And every now and then, it doesn't happen much, but every now and then, I'll point the finger at me, will say some things probably about someone or make a statement that is less than nice, and not to anybody else, just to me
Yeah.
or to you, maybe, and about something or someone or something I don't like, and you think, that wasn't really nice to do.
Right. They might have just been having a bad day.
Yeah, so everybody has a right to be who they are and what they are, and we just all need to
Suck it up.
accept that in what they are and take the best out of it you can, and put love back in where hate has been.
I like that's a good line. Did you just think that up?
No, it's in a song.
Oh, okay.
Moving the Sticks.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's a
Opening line.
that's
Put opening and closing line. Put love back in.
that's a
where
great
hate has
line.
been.
And we all need to do that.
Yeah.
Well, my family made it home in the freezing cold,
Mm-hmm.
and I was proud for that.
How's the general doing? I didn't see him this time.
I know we just
Hung out?
We just hung out at home mostly.
Good.
because they didn't have much time, and my grandson was home from Utah, and so we had it was a nice Christmas. I was a little laid up, but I'm okay, I think. I think I'm going to get through it.
Oh, you are. You're here.
Yeah, I'm here, so I'm
We're
glad to
proud
be here,
you're
actually.
Yeah, proud you're here. Um, National football last night, national championship game between Georgia and TCU, and it was just an obliteration.
Really?
Yeah, Georgia won, I think, 65-7,
Oh my gosh.
and TCU was only lost one by, it was they were undefeated until the very end of the year, and but it just shows what football is. It's a power.
What can do.
It's a power. Somebody said saw where somebody said, and I agree. That said everybody wants to come to the SEC to play.
Yeah.
SEC gets all this big publicity. Everybody wants to come play the SEC until they do.
Until they do.
They don't. Then they win. I don't believe I want to go back over
Yeah.
there again. So, but we have Georgia's national champion for 2 years in a row, and that's a very difficult thing to do.
Sure it is. That's great, though, that they're up there. winning.
Because it's sort of like Tullahoma High School when we won the state championship. We lost 18 seniors that year. Well,
know.
that's usually what happens when you win something like that. The team that won it are all gone.
And you have to give the young people a chance to grow and
But
take
for
their
them to be
places.
ready to win it the next year,
It's a big challenge.
that's a big thing.
It really is.
Kirby Smart, good job. Good job. Christmas parades were good. Was there anything special that you wanted for Christmas that you got?
I never really want anything. I don't crave anything. It'd be nice if I did. Did you? Do you have something that you want?
I got
just-
some. I got some bugles.
Okay.
I like bugles.
Are you talking bugles?
The little snack. The little,
Oh, those little
chip,
things.
potato chip thing. I told people at my people a long time ago. I was in the clothing business for quite some time. Don't go buy me clothes. I'll buy my own clothes.
Yeah, I know.
Get me condiments.
Junk to eat? Is that
No, I want sauces and mustards with different flavors.
Oh, okay.
And I like condiments to put on it in foods.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's wonderful if you have
Did you do
some.
a lot of cooking over Christmas?
Yes, ma'am.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Well, any of it, but I cook. I do a pretty good ham.
Yes, you do.
Do a pretty good ham, and then I take what's left of that and make a excellent ham soup.
With whatever's left. You
Oh, yeah.
boil
Oh,
the bone and all that?
No, I
you
give
don't
the
do
bone
that?
to Atticus.
Oh, okay.
I cut all the meat off the bone I want, and then I leave enough on it to give it to Garth Seagrove's dogs.
And they love it.
They're the only dogs that are big enough to eat
To
a bone.
chew
Everybody else
on that
has
bone,
these little powder puff dogs, but Garth's got some real dogs.
Well, I have to admit that I did no cooking over Christmas. My family took care of all that because I had pneumonia, bronchitis, everything you can imagine. So I was happy to have them in the house.
Yeah.
Moving through. But we had a nice Christmas.
Good.
We had a
good.
nice Christmas.
So what we'll do is we have some new guests on here today that are
Good.
going to be we're going to have fun with, and we're going to show you a few things. We've shown you all the Christmas and all that stuff you're going to see. We're done with it. We're not going to show any more.
I've loved seeing whatever's been shown that I could see
Oh
because
yeah,
I didn't
we
get to see a lot of it.
and it's been great fun. We're so lucky to have the talent in this town.
This town
that
is
we
loaded
have.
with talent. It really
And
is.
the things that happen around here, and the people that we bring in,
All right.
like the guy you brought in from New York.
Terry, now what's his last name?
I don't know, Barber or whatever.
Barber, that's
something
it.
like that.
He was fabulous.
I
was
mean,
absolutely
we
fabulous,
have an
yeah.
opportunity in this town for our children and us to see wonderful things.
We really do.
And I just wish that more people would
Well, Henry.
take the opportunity.
Did you know that Henry Cho got inducted into the Grand Ole Opry?
He certainly did.
And he's going to be at the Civic Center Friday night.
Sold out, I heard.
That's what I heard, yeah.
So, but I
And
don't
he's
know
such a nice guy.
Henry Cho's
You know,
a
he
wonderful
doesn't have to
guy.
use foul language. He doesn't have to.
No, he doesn't.
He's just a wonderful man.
And he's been on the Golden Girls, and he's
And
been
he's
on
as
all
funny
these
as all get out.
television shows. He's incredible.
Now, I'm saying it's sold out. There might be a ticket or two left. I hate to say that it's totally sold out, and then somebody
Well,
want
you
to
can
go.
call them and see, but
Yeah,
but,
I know
yeah.
they've got a lot.
So what I want to do is start out with a couple of things to start you off into the new year, maybe, because this is a thing that I wrote back in 18, but it's something I try to live by. The only acceptable obligation is freedom to think beyond any structure, allowing the ascension to universal understanding, rendering all walls invisible.
Very good.
We don't need to have walls anymore.
That was written just before COVID, wasn't it?
Is
2018?
In 18,
And I
yeah.
think 19 was COVID, and
Yeah.
20. Very good.
The proximity to success can be buffered by the lack of insight, which can only be achieved through clarity of vision.
Right.
This is a good one for everybody. Today is one of those days when the chips fall where they may. I pray enough roll my way to pay the piper.
Good. Me too.
And
Yeah, that's
we'll
really good.
finish it with, if you are not enough without it, you will never be enough with it. Society's explanation of success can never be allowed to define your happiness.
Good.
So remember, you don't need somebody to tell
Telling
you whether you're
right.
happy or not.
That's right. And it's your job
Your
to be
choice.
happy. Your choice,
It's your
yeah.
choice to be happy.
Nobody
And we're
else
happy
can really
you're
make
watching,
you. Yeah.
And we'll be back after these messages.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
John, I'll
All right,
move this.
ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Hey, we're back, and we're trying to figure. I've got my buddy Pat Welch here with us today, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Tullahoma Sports Hall of Fame.
John, the annual banquet is coming up February the 4th, and we'll be recognizing, inducting 6 groups. the 1990 THS Baseball State Championship team. And then individuals are going to be Mark Moran, Clester Winningham, Kenneth Pack, Whitney Darlington Morris, and Coach John Olive. And it's a great night. If you've never been down there, they bring a contractor in from Nashville that changes D.W. Wilson into something that looks like you think you're in a banquet room at Opryland.
All right.
They did a really, really nice job with it.
And does that include a meal? Tell us, what does that include? Does that include a meal?
A really nice meal. The social hour starts at 5:30. The dinner starts at 6:30, and soon after the dinner, you better eat quick because then the ceremony starts. And this is going to be, I believe, our 4th class of inductees. We start off with bigger classes, and the idea is once we get several classes in, we'll be down probably to 3 or 4 a year. But this year we have 6, and they're all deserving
noteworthy and
Yes.
deserving.
Yes.
So how do you get to go to that thing?
You can call or go
buy a ticket?
You can buy a ticket. They're $70 a piece, and they are available at Householder, Artman and Bean, First Bank, and Nature's Elite. There are not many tickets left. There's about 300, and almost all of them are gone, but there still are some tickets. But I would encourage anybody that wants to go to get a hold of one of those businesses today as soon as possible and get the ticket.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about who these cats are.
All right. Let me get my list there,
You want
please.
your playbill? There you go.
The first one is the 1990 State Championship baseball team. It's coached by Jerry Mathis, who, of course, is in the TSSAA Hall of Fame and some baseball Hall of Fames. He was assisted by John Husky, and the members of that team were Harry Keller, Kylie Maupin, Gary Phillips, Scott Johnson, Mike Smith, Andy Akers, Kevin Suits, Chris Barnes, Andy Stone, Keith McFarlane, Philip Davis, Chad Hatfield, Ted Farrell, Chris Rickman, Todd Branch, Troy Wilson, Craig Revis, Mark Fitzgerald, Tony Sheffield, Greg Cope, Jeremy Winters, Mark Matisitz, Jay Pruitt, Wesley Petty, Todd Waller, Robert Prosser, Chris Bunch, and if I didn't say Coach Mathis's assistant was John Husky. Normally the state finals there are 4 teams, and I believe that year this was in the AA division or AA. Marion County, Milan, Tullahoma, and the closest game that Tullahoma was in, they beat Marion County 3-2 in one game, but all the other games were 10 runs or more. They had a fine baseball team, and there were several of those players that I read out were college players and also played in the minor league systems for several years. Several of them did. The next one we have is Mark Moran. I don't know if you can get a close-up of Mark.
Yeah, she can do it.
Okay. There he is. And Mark is really our first kind of volunteer or supporter. And I've lived here, and you have too, John, a long time, but I don't know of anybody that's got more time invested in athletics in Tullahoma with children not involved. Now, he had 2 boys that were fine athletes, but they were there at the same time, primarily overlapped a couple of years, but he ran the Mullins Football League, was president of that league for 25 years. He was involved in Little League Baseball for 16 as a coach, league president, and assistant district administrator, which means you run the all-star tournaments at the first level, and that can be a nightmare.
A nightmare.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
It's fun for everybody but the guy running the show.
That's right. He was the head of the Tullahoma Quarterback Club, raised an unbelievable amount of money, and been just a tremendous supporter of our THS football team. He was president for 22 years. Now, that doesn't involve in the years he wasn't president. He was involved probably in the quarterback club for over 30. And he was involved in the Tullahoma Wrestling, the takedown club. When he first moved to Tullahoma, the first time he heard about wrestling, he was wondering where the turnbuckles and the ropes were. He had never seen a scholastic or freestyle match, and he ended up helping coach for over 30 years. He was, and he ran all the tournaments for about 15 years, high school down to kindergartners, and nobody has got more time invested in the youth of Tullahoma than Mark Moran, and I can't think of anybody more deserving.
Well, I think I'm sitting right next to one
I can't match him.
that's given a lot as well.
I can't match him. Let's go to the next one. Will be Whitney Darlington Morris. She currently teaches PE at THS. She's assistant girls softball coach, and she's assistant strength coach for the THS football. And here is her picture, if we can zoom in on her. Here we go.
Whitney, did she play college ball?
She did. She's at the high school, she was most valuable player freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior years. She was all district, sophomore, junior, and senior year. She was all mid-state. She holds a record at THS softball for batting average, hits, home runs, triples, on-base average, steals, and career batting average, which was 5-7.
That's all of it.
That's a 5-7. I don't know if they got another record. She went out to Malo for 2 years. She was Outstanding Leadership Softball Award, broke a season record for triples, career record for triples, tied the career stolen base record with 82, two-time all-conference selection. She from there went to Middle Tennessee, where she won the MTSU Blue Raider Award. She was the Sun Belt Conference Commissioner's List Award, Outstanding Major of the Year, ESPN Magazine All-District 4 by ESPN. She played professionally in Sweden. We can go on and on. She's married to Chase Morris, who also is at the high school, and it'd be hard to say that she doesn't deserve to be in the Tullahoma Sports Hall of Fame.
That's pretty special.
Keep them coming, John.
Okay, what do you want next?
Whichever one you want to feed me.
I want to go to this. Let's go right here.
All right.
That guy right there.
Clester Winningham.
All of them are special, but he's a
He
special
may be
guy.
one of the most unrecognized.
Yep.
How's that? Clester came to THS sometime in the mid-'80s, I believe. He was the head freshman football coach for a long time, and he was head track coach for a long time. He was, I believe he was the first faculty advisor for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes when it was first started. But the track is what most people don't really recognize. I got on the TWSAA records last night, and the 7 largest schools in the Tullahoma area that were the 7 other old Central Tennessee Conference schools together and this goes back into the 50s, they combined for 6 individual state champions or relay teams. And that goes back as far as 1952 and 53. Chevrolet had a shot putter that won the state 70 years ago. So we're talking a 70-year period. Our area combined for 6 individual or relay state championships in a 70-year period. In that same period, Tullahoma had 18, and Clester had 14 of those 18.
My goodness.
It's a pretty incredible record. And the first one would have started with, somebody like Antonio London that's in the Sports Hall of Fame. He high jumped his sophomore year at the state meet 6 feet 10 inches as a sophomore, and he eventually grew up to be 6'3" or 4" and 240 or something like that when he was playing professional football. That's hard to believe a man that big could high jump 6 foot 10 inches when he was a sophomore in high school. But Clester coached him, and 13 other individuals or relay state champions.
Right.
And he's coming in from Florida. When he retired, he went to Florida, and he ended up being a volunteer coach down there for a school in Florida, and was able to coach 2 of his grandsons in both football and track. And while he was at Tullahoma, he coached his 3 sons here in football and track. So
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do right now, folks. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with the rest of this story.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
Parkview Senior Living, active, independent senior living at its finest.
Do you love sports? Then you should know about STEM. Because maximizing nutrition, analyzing peak muscle performance, calculating the perfect shot, and more are all made possible by science, technology, engineering, and math. In fact, there are more careers than ever in sports science. So if you have a passion for sports, then think about getting involved in STEM and improve everyone's game on and off the field. Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, we're back, and Pat Welch here with me today, and we're talking about the Tullahoma Sports Hall of Fame celebrations getting ready to come up. And Pat, we have a couple more we need to talk about.
We've got two more. First, we'll go with
this
Mr.
guy
Kenneth
right
H.
here,
Pack.
Kenneth Herbert Peter Pack, and he has been. We became friends on Druid Lane when I was 2 years old and he was 3. And we've been friends, tight friends ever since. And this is probably as deserving as they're all deserving, but
Yes.
but Kenny has done great service not only to the Tullahoma area, but to Tullahoma, but for the whole area in taking over for his dad, Bill Sr., as commissioner of referees.
Yes, and that is a tough job. We're really suffering for officials in almost every sport in the TWSAA, and you know, that's why they're playing football games on Thursday night. They don't have enough officials to play them all on Friday. But Kenny started refereeing in 1969, and he called his last football game in 2020. So he got a 50-year period in working ball games. He in basketball, but not many people know he started off calling basketball too. He called 4 sub-state TWSAA games, which is the last game before the state tournament. He's been the supervisor, as you point out, John, for Central Tennessee football officials since 1994. He coached in 2 football, or refereed in 2 football games that were all PACs. Mr. Pack was the head official, and he called with all 5 of his sons. That's pretty unusual. Didn't
pack
just do
of
it
packs.
once. They did a pack of
That's
packs.
a pack of packs
twice.
right
He officiated in 8 TSSAA state championship games, one short of his father's record, and I got to feel like that was purposeful, that he
I'm sure.
didn't go over his dad. He was inducted in the TSSAA Hall of Fame as an official in 2009. He was named Outstanding Football Official in Tennessee by the National Federation in 1994. He was named the Prep Official of the Year by the Lawrenceburg Quarterback Club in 1999. They used to have a tremendous banquet, and that was a really well-recognized banquet. He received the A.F. Bridges Award for officials in 2008. He officiated college football in the Ohio Valley Conference for 25 years. He officiated in 1AA playoff games for 15 years, worked 4 semifinal games, and 1 final game. We may be running out of time, John, but I don't care.
No,
I'm just
just
going to
keep
keep on going. I'm not going to mention the gentleman's name, but it was a well-known NFL player who played in the 1AA level. And he came out, everybody, the Packs were sticklers for the rules and going by the rules, and the college rule was that everybody's dressed the same. Well, this great player came out, everybody had on white socks, but he had barbershop pole, candy stripe, green and white ones. And so, and was pretty carefree individual. And Mr. Pack, as Kenneth went up to the head coach and said, you need to do something about the socks. And he said, what do you mean? He said, nobody else has made us do anything about the socks. He said, well, I'm not sure about everybody else, but I can tell you this, if he comes out here at the kickoff and he's still got those socks on, you're going to start 15 yards behind. And when they went back in the dressing room before the game started, came back, he had only white socks on. That may be my favorite Kenny Pack officiating story. His father, Bill, is in the TSSAA Hall of Fame, the National High School Hall of Fame, and he was inducted into the Tullahoma Sports Hall of Fame in 2019, and this is going to be the great for the Pack family, and Kenny by himself is worthy of the inclusion. And our last, maybe possibly the most deserving, is Coach John Olive. And John helped Clester with the FCA when he first came, and when Clester retired, then he became the huddle leader. And it's kind of neat that both the long-term FCA advisors are going to be inducted in the Tullahoma Hall of Fame at the same time. He provided a sketch, and there's nothing in here but family. You know, we know his wife Cherie, we know his children, but there's not much else in here. So I had to dig it up, and we're going to brag on him here a little bit. Oh, one thing he pointed out, he's been at King's Cross Church since 1996, and when he first started there, he said he was the Bible study leader for the youth, and now it's for the old men. He had 229 career wins as a head coach in Tennessee. 203 of those were at THS. He made 23 trips to the TSSAA playoffs and culminated in 2021 with a 15-0 in the 4A state championship. And a lot of times people are not aware there were only 2 teams in the privates and in the publics that in 2021 were undefeated, and Tullahoma was one of them. Oakland High School was the other. And what we want to pay tribute to our good friend Benny Garrick and others that were concerned mostly with a man's record against Manchester, and that was 24-5.
There you go.
John Olive has probably been the most influential person to the youth in Tullahoma, maybe ever, and he certainly is deserving to be in our Hall of Fame.
Well, you know, I've done not all of the John Olive fifth quarter shows, but
you did a lot of them.
A whole lot of them, at least 50% or more. And you know, I've said this before, there was a thing done for John at Grace Baptist several years ago, and everybody talked about their kids and how great it was that their kids got to play for John Olive and be around John Olive. And when all of that was said, I felt a need to stand up and say, you're talking about your kids being better kids because of being around John Olive. I'm a better man because of being around John Olive. It wasn't just our children that John Olive has affected. He's affected our whole community.
The whole community, yeah, certainly has. The Sports Council at this banquet recognizes anybody that's had a state level type of achievement. And so there'll be 2 young ladies that will be recognized. One of those is Brindley Duncan, and she won the Tennessee Middle School State Championship in the 800 in track in last spring. And Lily Story won the AAA State Championship. Both of these girls won an 800-meter race. And both of them, I saw both races, and both of them were right on the shoulder of the lead person, lead girl, till about 100 or 200 yards out. And I mean, both of them had 2 fine kicks to become state champions.
They put a Georgia whooping on them at the end.
At the end, they were well ahead. Yeah. John,
what about your sponsors? Let's get your sponsors.
Let's get the sponsors. L&H Distributing has been the title sponsor for every year of the banquet. And this year, a major sponsor is going to be First Bank, but all those sponsors are Adult Pediatric Dermatology, Traders Bank, Heart and Hospital, Matt Nichols, DDS, Ascend Federal Credit Union, Lester Green, McCord and Toma, Bowman Media, Coffee County Bank, and Russell Barnett Ford. And John, that's just about, we've run it.
That's about it.
As far as we can run
That's about
it.
it. And you say this is our 4th year.
I believe it's the 4th
of the banquet. When was this concept put together? Give us a brief history on that.
Just previous, about 5 years previous, Lane Curley, when he was mayor, one of his yearly initiatives was to start Sports Council. And that body is to try to promote sports in Tullahoma and hopefully have tournaments that would influence economic in Tullahoma, such as the old softball tournaments that we used to have, where we'd fill up our restaurants and fill up our hotels. And they have been very involved in youth sports, building up the Johnson Lane facilities and that kind of thing. But one of the main things they wanted to do was start a Sports Hall of Fame.
Okay.
And that is what led to it. Jimmy Stewart and his wife, when Jimmy passed away, they left part of their estate to the Sports Council to have funds that would help initiate the Hall of Fame and continue on. And if you go to D.W. Wilson, there's a room there that has every inductee's plaque, so lots of information on him, and behind some, or her, and behind some glass windows, there's a lot of mementos of those inductees. And that's another thing that's probably under-publicized, I think. Not a lot of people know this room.
It's a nice room.
It's worth the visit to just spend a half hour over there and see who those people are.
Well, I'm going to ask a question that I should know, but I don't know the answer to, and I'll
you're hoping that I can handle that?
I'll apologize for that. You in the Sports Hall of Fame?
I'm not, and I'm not seeking that spot.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm seeking it for you because
you need to talk to somebody else.
No, all the people I know, there's a whole lot of them who have not done anywhere near what this gentleman right here has for our youth and the sports of Tullahoma, and just like sitting up here doing this. As far as I'm concerned, you're already in it, buddy.
John, that may be a little bit more. And let's finish with a poster. If you'll blow that up. It's got the inductees on there. It's got sponsors.
Yeah. And keep looking for this in the future, and find out about it and get involved. And you know, I'm sure there's a committee that picks this, but there's also people that need to throw names into them.
There's board members that are known, and that group has a subcommittee that's purposely not known,
Okay.
so that they're not influenced. If somebody wants to make a nomination or thinks somebody needs to be in it, if they'll get a hold of the chairman, who's Jim Bratcher, there's some, I believe, a form now where you can nominate somebody, and that group will look at it as when they meet.
Sounds good. Pat?
Thanks, John.
Thanks, buddy.
Yes, sir. Always
Appreciate
great.
all you do.
And likewise.
Okay. We'll be back after these messages.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No Employee of the Month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. I'm so delighted to have with me Keisha from the Chamber of Commerce. She has so many things going on that I don't even know where to start. But there's this big event. Let's get started with that.
Well, I am absolutely happy to be here. Tisha with the Tullahoma Chamber of Commerce, recently promoted to the Assistant Executive Director.
Fabulous.
Yes, we have kicked off the year at the Chamber. Things are moving along very positively. We're nearing 450 members.
That's awesome.
It is.
It really
and we're
is.
just excited to serve our community and the businesses in our area.
And you do a great job.
Thank you
Absolutely.
very much.
I'm reading about it all the time, and you're on top of everything. And this event that you're fixing to do at the conference center in Manchester.
Yes, so we are about to celebrate our annual membership celebration. We will host that event on Friday, February 17th, again at the Manchester Coffee County Conference Center. It begins at 5:30. We'll have a cocktail hour and a silent auction, and then we'll kick off the main event, which is celebrating our year and celebrating some great leaders in our community.
And I know you're inviting the public and hoping people will come out and buy tickets. So let's get through that. How do you find a ticket, and do you come by the chamber, or
Yes.
what do you do?
So there are a couple great ways to get your ticket. We are selling tickets for $75 a piece for individual tickets. And like you said, anyone can attend. We invite our membership. We invite members of the community. But we also invite our table sponsors. You can host a table at $8.50. And so if you're interested in all of that, you can go to our website.
Do we have the website? Maybe Philip has it.
I hope so, but our website, for those who may not be able to see it, is tullahoma.org. And if you go to our website, click on the date of that event, you will find the membership celebration, and there you can either purchase a ticket or you'll find links to nominate some of our
I was going to say, you're looking for
categories.
nominations. And do y'all have some criteria for the nominations, like what you were looking for?
We do. We keep it fairly simple. We, of course, want to know the basic information about those you're nominating and a brief paragraph about what they've done to lead the community or what makes them stand out as professionals in the area.
And we have a lot of people that are very competent in this community, I think.
We
so
do.
I hope you get a good sampling.
I hope so. The nominations that we seek, of course, are Business of the Year, Small Business of the Year, Citizen of the Year, and CEO Partner of the Year. So in that group, of course, we hope that we'll get some great nominations.
Get some great nominations.
Mm-hmm.
How many can you get?
We can take as many as we receive. We at the Chamber have a committee that meets to go through each of these nominations at length. So we like to keep it fair. And to make those nominations, again, you can make those on our website by clicking that event, or you can reach out to the Chamber and we're happy to connect. But the date to get those in is next Friday, January 20th.
January 20th is not so far away. So
Yeah.
if you have somebody in mind, you need to get on that real quick.
Exactly.
And,
Tullahoma.org, and you've got our phone number there.
There you go.
So reach out.
It's a wonderful thing to do, and I think, do you feel like every year you get what you're looking for?
Absolutely. The
That's
number of
wonderful.
nominations that come in truly show us, the long list of those who are contributing to our community.
And so many people that are willing to. Now, is this a volunteer thing? Is that correct?
It is.
And the fact that we have people that are willing to continue to volunteer, that's awesome.
It is. It is.
Because we're built on that.
We are.
Yeah. Tennessee is known for their volunteerism even for years and years. And so this event starts at 5 o'clock.
5:30.
5:30, and you meet sort of there first, and then you have dinner.
Well, we'll first
something.
have a cocktail hour
party.
and then we have a huge selection of silent auction items.
Oh, that's
that'll
right.
be
We need to talk
available.
about that. Have you got all the silent auction things you need, or are you taking more?
We are taking more. We have, like I said, an incredible committee. They're out and reaching out to businesses and partners. But of course, it's an opportunity for businesses to be visible to our members. Over 300 in attendance.
It's amazing, yeah.
Yeah, a great way to support the Chamber and our business community, but a great way to be visible.
Do you have any special items in the auction that you know of that people might be interested in coming and bidding on?
Well, we always have our famous load of gravel from Rogers.
That's great. I know.
We do. We love that so much. I know Woodard's always continues to support us year after year.
Jim Woodard,
Jim
he's such a contributor.
He is.
He is awesome.
Yes, and so I know that we will have a few favorites joining us again. Jack Daniels is always a great supporter, in that regard. So we truly look forward to some great live auction items as well as silent auction.
It's interesting to see people get excited about an auction, and those people are volunteering too, and they're willing to give their money for whatever, and it's really works out nicely.
It really is. And Weicker, Joe Orr, and Realtors Joe and BB, they always do.
Or is he going to be the auctioneer?
He continues
I
to
think
support
that's
us
so
in
fabulous.
that way. We love it, and we'll have Kat Murray joining us again as our MC for the event.
Good.
So there'll be a lot of community favorites. You know, the event, just as it is year after year, it's going to be very special and a way to celebrate.
So it's a fun thing to do,
It
as
is.
well as a positive thing for the community.
Absolutely. We love to go on and on about our success, but at the end of the day, it's just a great time to come together and celebrate and, you know, have a good meal at the conference center and enjoy.
And so this is, do you know how many years that this has been going on, this particular event?
Oh my goodness. I mean, several decades, that's
Several
for sure.
decades.
Yeah, we don't count it like we do the Christmas parade.
Yeah.
But I mean, I believe it's been going on for about as long.
So get your money together and
Yes.
go to Tullahoma.org or call that phone number and get yourself a ticket, because it's all about raising some money as well as bringing new people into
It is.
your whatever it is you're doing.
In our membership organization, join us.
Right. So I don't know what else I need to say here. We've just about told it all. But
We have. It's been good.
But anyway, it's such an important thing. Don't take it lightly. That's
No.
what I'd like to
Yeah,
say.
act quickly. Get those nominations in for the 20th,
Yeah.
and get your tickets in so you make sure you got a spot.
Right, or because you're going to miss something.
You are.
And I hope that how many people can come? How many people does that space hold?
That space holds, I think we can fit at least 300, and so it's a large crowd. We've sold a little over 100 tickets so
That's
far.
great.
So
I'm
definitely.
assuming everybody knows where the conference center is. It's in Manchester on the freeway, right?
It is. It's on
And
Hospitality
you
Drive.
can't hardly miss it, but they do a great job. Well, thank you for coming. You're doing a great job. We'll be back with something.
Clayton's has been Tullahoma's shoe store for over 120 years, and Florence Hall continues that tradition today. We're the only shoe store in town that starts with measuring your foot to make sure you get the perfect fit in a quality shoe. That includes narrow through wide widths for men, women, and children. Clayton Shoes, the family shoe store you'll love.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere. Like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with sodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and I'm excited. I'm a veteran, and every time we get to do something with the veterans and our local Legion post, it makes me happy. I've got Lynn Hauser, and he's the adjutant of Post 43 here in Tullahoma, and there's good stuff going on, and a lot of people don't realize that, of course, the Legion. Lynn, for a long time, has had a big presence out on Washington Street with a big club and dancing and eating and all that. And then that went away, and we searched for several years for a post home. And now we have a post home downtown Tullahoma.
We do, that's correct, yes.
And it's basically mostly for meetings and different events that we have, but the Legion's decided to reach out just a little bit and do something different. What's going on?
We have, and as you mentioned, John, and thank you for the opportunity to meet with you today. One of the things we have done in the transition, if you will, over the last several years, as you said, we had a large facility and used to do a lot of work with, of course, with Legionnaires, but we had a great social presence there, and
certainly
restaurant and a gathering place. Once we relocated to 109 Northwest Atlantic Street, what we did was we had to shrink what we did. So we don't have a lot of social activities. We focus much more in on veterans support, national security, those sorts of things. And so rather than a heavy social emphasis in the past, we had done a lot more with projects that involve veterans. However, we realized that that was a little bit of a kind of backing off a little bit from the social aspect with veterans, and so we decided to do something new. Starting last week, actually, was the first time that we opened up the post from 8 o'clock in the morning till noon on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and with free coffee and donuts. And the idea is for veterans, their families, to be able to come in and just have an opportunity to sit down and socialize and get to know each other better. Our meetings, which are held the fourth Tuesday of every month at 6 o'clock there at the Post, are very business-like and business-oriented. I know you've been to many, many of them.
Right, and you know, that's one of the things that I'm glad to see happen. You know, when I first got into the Legion years and years and years ago, you know, it was that way. There was fun and socialization, but when it came time to have the meeting, it was structured, and it was structured, and the steps were taken that gave it a feeling of almost not worshipful, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You felt like it was regimented and structured, and it gave it some status, the meeting. And through the years, we kind of got away from that, and the meetings just became, and particularly as the membership dwindled, and you know, a lot of people ask the question, well, what happened to that Legion? Where'd all that money go? Well, you know, we had 2,500 members at that point. And all of a sudden, you know, well, and I'll be quite frank, at that point, you could only get a drink at the Officers Club, the NCO Club, the Country Club, and the American Legion.
That's right.
You know, and because there were no bars that served mixed drinks in town.
That's right.
And so as those laws changed, people started going to different places, and a lot of our veterans started passing. World War II veterans.
They did.
Some of the young veterans didn't get involved, and so the membership shrank. And I've always equated it, that building out there, it's like trying to fly the Concorde with 3 people in coach. You know, because that building didn't make any difference how many members showed up. It cost X amount of dollars to heat,
it does,
cool, insurance, all of that stuff. And that's why the building originally got, because there's a lot of people have asked that question. We went from 2,500 members to 300-400 members.
That's correct. That's correct.
You know, and so we to keep a presence, we searched for a place to find, and we finally, after several years, found the place downtown, and it's worked out beautifully. You know, we can do our Veterans Day stuff, and we have the meetings down there, and special events down there, and now we're taking, like you say, that next step into socialization and having a place where our veterans can actually come to a couple of days a week and kibitz with each other and lie to one another,
that's
swap
right.
stories and whatever they want to do, or get help from the Legion with a problem they might have?
Well, that's a very good point that you bring up. We've been able to have, since this is the second week that we've done it, but we've had the Veterans Service representative for the state of Tennessee and the Veterans Field Service officer for this region, this county region, and they show up not every Tuesday or Thursday, but once a month.
Right.
And so any veterans that need help or have questions that need to be answered, or even are looking for jobs, we have those resources available right there at the post, so they can come in and just sit down eyeball to eyeball and get to know those representatives as well as the other members. And we've already seen a positive benefit. We've had, of course, as you well know, we have not only Legionnaires who are veterans, we also have sons of Legionnaires. We have the Women's Auxiliary, and then we also have riders. And so we've seen positive benefits, even in the last 2 weeks, where we've had a son come in and his wife, who is an auxiliary member, fairly new residents to Tullahoma, and so they've come in and joined. And then we have somebody who's said his wife saw on Channel 6 that this was going to be coming available, and so she says, you need to get down there and join up. And I said, we mean she's kicked out of the house for 4 hours? And he says, that's right.
Well, the thing about it is, and as you were speaking, and I was earlier, I can remember back in 20 years ago when we were out at the other facility, once a month there would be a group of gentlemen come in there for the sole purpose of spending sometime maybe 2 or 3 days to help veterans with their insurance and with their benefits, and because I don't know why a person can take a diagnosis and walk into St. Jude and a child gets served. A veteran can't take a diagnosis and their card and walk into a hospital and get served.
Right.
But it ain't that easy.
That's right. That's right.
The paperwork is almost unbearable. And a lot of times guys give up before they wade through it, and to have help with that is a thing that just is absolutely incumbent that we do.
It really is, and I appreciate you bringing that aspect out of it too, John. And the reason is that we may not have those exact resources at the post, but one of the things that we do with veterans is we can make sure that they get in contact with the proper people, because your point is well taken that it's such a bureaucracy, or it can seem like it's insurmountable to be able to get in and find out what's the next step I need to take.
And it's sort of like our government's going, okay, you did that, yeah, we know you did that, but we don't want to pay you right now, so we're going to set up 20 years worth of roadblocks to where we can start paying you when you're when you're aging out of the whole deal, so, and that's not good enough.
Yeah.
That's not good enough.
Well, really, I just want to extend on behalf of our commander, Marcus Walden, and the entire Legionnaires of Post 43, want to extend the invitation to any veteran or both men or women to please come down and see us on either Tuesday or Thursday morning, 8 to 12, or come to the meetings on the fourth Tuesday of every month at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock,
and we would just love to meet you, and really would encourage you to be part of Post 43.
Very good. Lynn, thank you, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, John.
Appreciate you, and
yes.
thank you for your service.
Well, thank you, John. Appreciate your service as well.
We'll be back after these messages.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman. This is Pat Welch, and we are here today with segment 59 of the Conversations of John and Pat. 59. There's no random reason, nothing that's directing me to sing or a particular song or whatever. But in other words, we have no segue from this to the substance of the program. Absolutely none. Perfect. And this song was we can run in any direction. Popular in the late 50s, probably. I remember when I was a lad, times were hard and things were bad. There's a silver lining behind every cloud. Just poor folks, that's all we were, trying to make a living off of black land dirt. We'd get together at the family circle singing loud. Oh, the circle won't be broken by and by, Lord, by and by. Daddy sang bass. You want to do the tenor? Mama sang tenor. Me and little brother were John riding there in the sky, Lord, in the sky. I remember after work, Mama would call in all of us. You could hear us singing for a country mile. Now little brother has done gone on, but I'll rejoin him in a song. We'll get together at the family circle in a little while. Daddy sang bass, Mama sang tenor. Me and little brother with John riding singing seemed to help the trouble so. One of these days, and it won't be long, I'll join him in a song. We'll get together at the family circle singing loud. Daddy sang bass, Mama sang tenor. Me and little brother joined right in there in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Pat, you did a good job.
Well,
there.
you forced me into using my Jackie Revis voice, and
we've been practicing on that.
Yeah, I hope that management allows us to go forward with segment 60.
But you know, Mama sang you were a little bit off. The key was a little bit off, but I adjusted, you know, for that.
As you well could. Yeah.
I've played with many people that couldn't get in there like they're supposed to. Sometimes, you know, I'm subject to that myself. But we're going to talk today about the East Middle School Cemetery Project, and I've got a tempo from 1990, February 1990. And on the front cover is our friend, and we've talked about Tommy Allen before. Show his picture there, Philip, if you would. There's Tommy. And he was the one that came up with this idea. I'm not sure if someone sort of moved him in that direction, but Tommy would ask or search out for a cemetery that really needed some care. One where the weeds had taken over, where the tombstones could be.
A lot of times you couldn't find, you couldn't read them. They had to be fixed back up.
And they would stand the tombstones back up, and they implemented this whole project with the science teacher, math teacher, English. I mean, they just did. They would. And at the end result, they would, draw up a scheme of how the cemetery was laid out, the best they could tell, and they would have
plot the burials, and,
history about the people buried there, and then they would be calculations by the math teacher, and there would, it was really interesting. The kids were all enthused about it, and the days they would go out there, they'd get the Tullahoma school bus, and they would load up. Maybe
it's a big day, real big
day,
yeah.
And they would take their hose and picks and briar blades and hammers and
rakes
axes, and they would go to the cemeteries and have just a day of getting the cemetery back in order, and then they would go another day. And I always thought this was neat. Where they would, to read the tombstone, some of them were very hard to read, so they would put shaving cream on the face of the tombstone and take a squeegee, and then the words were better read. So it was real good project. And I remember Ann Holt from Channel 2 News came down and interviewed Tommy, and then the family, they would make books. Manuals are a little about the size of a magazine, where they would have pictures of the gravestone, maybe a picture of the person who was deceased laying there. But they would put these out, and then the Cemetery Association there would or Tommy would sell these to the family. It might be a Schaffner family out in Bedford County, or this or there. Mm-hmm. I can't remember all the names. Well, this was the Schaffner family. I do remember that one. Now go to our next picture. That's the one. There's Miss Christy Stamps Hazelwood there.
Correct.
Sweet lady.
Math teacher for many years.
Sweet lady,
at East.
and she is there with some of her students, and there with her. Let me get to the right picture here. James Tankersley on the left, and Ben Levitt and Nick Sarabi. Those kids had a great time. They would have a great time. They'd carry their lunch. The cafeteria ladies would fix up a sack lunch, and they'd go out to the cemetery. This is fine stuff here. Fine stuff.
Nick is back in town as got some
Yes, he
business
is.
or two
Yes,
on
he is.
Washington Street.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Glad to have young people come back
Correct.
to Tullahoma to live. And Christy still teaches, I think,
Yes.
in the sister still goes. I taught with her several years, and she was a fine teacher, friends to my children. And then go to the next one, if you would. And can anyone guess out there who the young man is on the left? Before I tell you who that is.
A hint would be he's presently the principal at Robert E. Lee School.
That is Woody Dillahay, and then Kristen Cherry, Salim Ali, John Cofelt, and Laura Crick. Now, Laura Crick was the daughter of Gloria Crick, who I taught school with, and Laura was a sweet lady, sweet girl, and so.
Did she have some Marshall County roots?
Unionville. She was from Unionville.
Okay.
And,
So that's Bedford County,
Bedford
but almost.
County, almost. We're about 8 miles from Chapel Hill, where she lived, and she was a Burt before she married Jimmy Crick. But Woody Dillahay, look at him on the left. Isn't he cool there, Pat?
He's ready to go.
He's a cool fella, and still is, and does a fine job with the kids today as a principal. And
John, what's the date on that tempo?
it was 1990, didn't I say? That's 27 years ago, by the way. February 1990.
Not that we would want to date Woody at all.
Well, Woody's a fine looking fella, and Kemp and Phyllis, his mother and daddy, we just love them. And Kemp is an avid golfer. I teach a Sunday school class. I haven't been teaching there lately. I have somebody better than myself there doing that job. But back years ago when I was teaching that class, Kemp was gone on a golf trip, and I asked in class, Phyllis, how is Kemp doing in his golf tournament? She says, "Oh, John, who cares?"
Kemp did.
Kemp did,
Yeah.
and I would.
Yeah.
But you know, our spouses generally don't care how well we do. They just want us to come back home, I guess.
And in Phyllis's case, and in yours and ours primarily, the score doesn't matter. They're just excited to have us back home and want us to enjoy life.
They don't really care, but it bothers me when I don't play too good.
It affects your attitude afterwards.
And it affects me greatly, and to the positive side, if I do good.
Right.
I mean, that's so good.
Yeah.
But our wives care less. Could care less.
But they are crazy about us.
I think so, Pat. I think they are. Beth and Barb are good ladies.
They certainly are.
And Beth is
somewhat 2 rungs above us. Yeah.
We're glad to be here today. We're glad to be anywhere, aren't we, Pat?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Anyway, we
hopefully there won't be a cemetery project on top of us for a little while anyway. Yeah.
We hope to avert that
For a little while. John, that pretty well wraps up segment 59.
We've had a good time.
We've had a great time, and we're coming back as long as management will allow us to do so, because we've got the stories. Thank you, all.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and
Birthday party.
it's gotten to where our buddy Jackie Duncan is coming in regular, which just makes me happy, and Peggy as well, because we always share a little history and have a little fun. And Jackie's one of our friends and a fine man, and always has something good to say, good to bring.
He knows a lot of things.
Bring good stuff to the table.
Thank you.
You're getting ready to hand out $100 bills?
Oh, I wish. Oh, I wish. That would be great. Fantastic.
That's what we're both here for.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I was going to bring something real special today. Something I've had for quite some time. I think I've had it a little bit too long. So when I looked at it today, I was thinking, got a pair of shoes. They were size 21s.
Oh my gosh.
They were Shaq shoes. Yeah, they're the same size Shaq wears. And I was going to tell you, I was waiting on you to ask me what I got for Christmas, and I was going to tell you what I got for Christmas. And I wrote this little poem some time ago. It says, my Christmas gift. It says, guess what I got for Christmas? It's so big it made the news, but I played it down. It's no big thing, just Shaquille O'Neal's shoes. Says, with everyone sporting Air Jordans, after all, his were the first. But looking at mine, all I can say is I got my money's worth. Those things are
about that long.
They are, and I was going to bring them in, and I got them out the other day, and I've had them bagged up. And I used to use them in show and tells at church and other occasions, and little kids would put them on, and they'd walk around in them. They'd walk around in those big 21 shoes, and they were almost as big as long as their arms were. Well, anyway, I pulled them out and looked at them the other day, and those things were just falling apart. And after I've had them probably over 20 years, and I think the rubber has done rotted on them.
Probably.
So I think I've got somebody I know that I think is a part of the Nike family, and I'm going to contact them and see if I can get me another pair. But I just found these in a store in Nashville. I was just shopping one day, and it's been years ago, but I was just shopping one day and looked up and saw those Shaq shoes, and I said, I got to have them. And I did. I bought them, and probably they were cheaper than the ones I usually buy for myself, so I guess they were just trying to get rid of them. I don't know. But anyway.
No, that's it may be worth a lot of money still.
No, them things are falling apart. I took a picture of them today, and I'm ashamed to show the picture. I was just falling.
No, they're not a pair that Shaq wore.
No.
They're just his size.
Yeah, they're just his size, but.
But think about that, a size 21 shoe.
God. Yeah, they're that long.
Like what size do you wear?
Oh, I wear a 13.
See, I mean, that's almost double.
Oh, yeah, I'd walk around, I'd fall in them just trying to stand up, and move my feet around in them. But yeah, they're real special shoes, that's for sure.
I'll tell you something funny. When my son was growing up, and this is typical of all little boys. My son was growing up, and he started playing basketball. Church league, played at CD Stamps.
Okay.
Down at the gym down there. And but when he got in junior high, those kids got to thinking, for some reason, that they were to be big. The bigger the shoes they had, that meant they were bigger.
They were bigger boys.
Bigger boys. And it was the funniest thing. You could see those 6th and 7th graders running up and down the court
Great big shoes on.
wearing 12 shoes on.
God.
I know Jacob told me, he said, well, I've got to have an 11. I think 11 and a half is what I need.
Dick.
And now he's a grown man, and he wears a 10. But when he was that tall, and their feet would just flop going out the court. Because they thought the bigger the shoe, the bigger the bash.
I always shied away from those big shoes. My mother used to take me to Clayton's when I was just a kid, and she'd take me over to get shoes, and I was embarrassed to go in to know that I was growing so fast that my feet were growing so fast. Every time I'd go in there, my foot was about 2 sizes bigger than it used to be, and I didn't want them to measure my feet. They always measured your feet.
Oh yeah.
I didn't want them to measure my feet. Let's give me something here, something that looks good, that looks kind of compressed, So Lord, so anyway, but I don't know. I never had that Bigfoot ideal like your kids.
Well, those little kids, it wasn't just him. It was all of them. Every one of them. And I mean, this one little boy, he wasn't that tall, and he had a pair of 12s on.
That's funny.
Oh boy.
They were longer than his legs.
Yeah.
I do want to say something about the Martin Luther King walk that's coming up on I think it's Monday the 16th at 8 o'clock at CD Stand. And that's an annual event that
that's a week from yesterday.
That's, yes.
Monday, yeah.
This coming January 16th.
Yes. That's his birthday time.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, and it's always good walk. I'm praying there's going to be good weather. I'm glad we got past that one degree
gosh.
weather, yeah.
That about took us all out.
Oh, a negative weather, but I want to say something too about Christmas. You know, I know everybody. I've never spent a Christmas like I did this past one.
Let's hear about it.
And my church hosted a homeless shelter. And
Oh,
there are several
wonderful.
churches around here now that are doing this and that are involved in it. And a homeless shelter for this was back, during the coldest
Right.
weather, and that was the week it was the coldest, pretty much. And we had some help from other churches, that people that had come in to help out, and then my church group, they really kicked in, and people brought food and everything, So
That's
it was a good celebration, just of coming together, and Christmas night. I never thought I'd be spending Christmas night,
But
doing something benevolent like that. But I've always enjoyed. I always do great, just family usually on. But I had a new family for this
There you
Christmas,
go.
so it worked out really good.
Very fulfilling.
Some good people, I met some good people, and some lives. I think we've talked all along about people bullying and things like this, and promoting themselves in the wrong way. And this, I ran across one young lady who had a situation. She was saying that somebody had told her earlier in her life, and somebody had told her early in her life that she couldn't do this and couldn't do that, And so anyway, I wrote a poem, and my poem's in that book about it, and I quoted that poem to her, and she just awed, She said, if I'd heard that long time
You know
ago.
what? You can't do this and that. You can't do any more of this because we're out of time.
Yeah.
So you tell them right quick. Martin Luther King. Where is it? When does it start?
CD Stand.
Next Monday.
Monday the 16th at 8
What
o'clock.
time? 8 o'clock.
A.M.
A.M.
Yes.
Walk uptown.
We're going to walk downtown City Hall. Yeah.
Okay.
Come back and CD
There you
Stand
go.
to have breakfast.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks for being back with us. Happy New Year.
Bye.